Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel and my live. Last night I did a little Facebook live letting everybody know that today was going to be the day that we were going to be doing our chat again. So if anybody was interested in joining, and I hope we have some new viewers that will come and join us, new joiners. I don't even think that's a word. But of course we're live, right? So I can't edit. And sometimes Sherry comes out with her own words sometimes. It's just me, I guess. So I have a huge announcement that I'd really love to share with you guys, but I'm just waiting to hear back on whether or not it's actually really going to happen. So last night I was speaking with somebody that's near to the Watts case. And this person potentially might actually sit down with me and let me do a one-on-one, and just sort of do like my own interview for you guys and ask some of my own hard questions for that case. So just kind of a little sneak peek that I'm giving you verbally to tell you about it. But if you haven't tuned in recently and you don't really know what my channel is, we do discuss a lot of true crimes, current cases that are going on, such as the Watts case, the Turpin case. There's a few that are going on around the world right now that are pretty big. So this is our time to just sort of sit together and chat and discuss things back and forth. So if there's any questions that anybody might have, just shoot them out at me. And please, for the viewers that have joined, I'd love a thumbs up and in a hello. Ah, hi, it's yes, my name is really Amy Love. I actually really love that name. I'm sure you get that all the time, right? Because they're like, is that really your name, Love? Right? That's cool. Hi, Sarah. How are ya? How's everybody doing today? Yeah, I bet you do. That's probably why you put your name like that, right? That's funny. So, I don't want to ruin the surprise on who it is, you guys, but I do have a potential one-on-one interview with somebody who's closer to that Watts case. So, I don't want to ruin it, like I said, but I'm really hoping that this is going to be a go ahead. Good morning, Yvette. You're pretty good so far, Sarah. Right on. Sarah Ann Squeaks. That's a cute name. So I'm really hoping that this one-on-one is going to happen, but I'm hoping to hear back today because it was just sort of last night that this conversation came about. And yeah, you're welcome. Good morning, Yvette. Yes. But I'm hoping that this one-on-one actually happens and that my viewers will get an interview that no other YouTube channel has. Nobody else has done. It's just mine that has it. Hey, Tammy, how's it going, girl? Good morning. It's coffee and chat time. I'm still trying to get the exact sort of view for you guys as to what all we should show. Probably not so much my cupboards, like really down there, so boring. But I know, Yvette, you have no idea how excited I am. I'm serious. Like, I'm just gonna sit up a little bit taller for you guys. But Tammy, you're just coming and tuning in, but check this out. I actually have a potential one-on-one interview with somebody who's close to the Watts case that no one else has. Or well, that's only really been whatever. I don't want to blow it. I don't want to wreck it. I don't want to ruin it in case it doesn't happen, but I'm praying that it's going to happen. So, stay tuned for that because I'm super stoked and I'm hoping that excuse me. Thank you, Sarah, for that compliment. I feel like there's other channels that give some good insight, like the lawyer, like Scott Reese. He's really good. You guys have to remember, right? I have a degree as being a legal assistant. but I don't have the same degree that the lawyer does, right? So they have a lot of good insight to add. I actually subscribe to his channel because I think he's really, really smart. And you know what, you guys, I'm going to be honest. I sometimes can't even retain all of that information. It is a ton of information. And I often need to go back into my books, go back into definitions, go back into looking things up in order to get the information right. And sometimes even then, you guys, I kind of mix it up. So I have no problem admitting that sometimes I could be wrong. And I love it that I have some viewers that are like, hey, wait a minute, I thought that it was this, or didn't it go like that? And I'm like, oh, maybe you're right. Shoot, I made it. I maybe didn't say that properly, or I didn't explain it properly. Maybe I didn't fully understand it properly. Still, the legal jargon is quite intense, you guys, and there's a lot to it. So I don't want to sit over here acting like a know-it-all or the queen of investigation, and I'm the be all and end all and the best of. I'm just one person who's, interacting with the world about these topics, and really I'm nobody. So I mean, the people who want to watch me just happen to like how I look, or they like how I sound, or they like my persona, so they continue to join. So really, I mean, I'm no like supreme pro of experts and stuff like that. I'm just one person sharing my view or my opinion. Not a nobody, but do you know what I mean? Like I'm no famous person. I'm nobody who's ever really been on TV before, and I'm not really trying to be. I'm just enjoying following some of these stories and sharing them with you guys in order to spread awareness, because I feel like sometimes we maybe don't pay attention to things the way other people would, or we don't think about things the way other people would. So sharing those together is a really good thing, in my opinion. That's why I really like my open platform with you guys, right? Say what you will, say what you want, kind of thing, and like let's talk about it, kind of thing, right? You enjoy my videos, Sarah? Thanks so much. What? Oh my. Well, I'm just saying, I'm just being honest about you know, my qualifications are right there as far as being a legal assistant and stuff like that. But there are some things that I might mix up, and I have no problem admitting, I might have been wrong, or even accepting correction if somebody knows a little bit better. I'm totally okay with that. That's why I say, like, let's chat, give it to me, right? So, where are we at with comments? Hi, Maria. Great. We need justice for Shanann and her babies, don't we? Right? I mean, honestly, it's so sad that whatever happened, right? Because we don't actually really even know fully what happened. I'm gonna take this down. I feel like it's kind of distracting or something. And there's already pretty stuff back there, right? Off topic. Squirrel. Shoes. Just kidding. All right. Everyone is someone. Aw, that's very sweet of you. Yes, I just didn't want to be, making it seem like I was like the be all and end all and stuff. I am totally able to accept. Hey, Sunkissed. Ah, that's awesome. You made it. You didn't miss the show. I'm voice in a person, yes, and yeah. So like, I guess all I was trying to really mean by that was, the people who want to be here to want to watch me, just happen to like, how I talk, or how I present things, or whatever. I'm gonna fidget probably, you guys. It's the morning. It's my first coffee. Seriously. Hey, Annie. Watching as per usual. I'm fab. You're great. You guys are awesome. I know last show we got all misty eyed because everybody was being all super kind. I was just like, oh man. I'm really real. That's the truth, and I'm totally able to accept constructive criticism. The only time I start to get upset is if somebody's insulting, or, name calling, or belittling, or threatening, or, then at that point it's like, seriously, like, how old are we? Like, go away. Like, I have no time for that. You know what I mean? Ooh, it's cloudy here, but we still had snow. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Facebook, but I do share some lives on our Manitoba weather, because honestly, it's so up and down. But I think that winter might be here now. I'm not a huge winter fan. Although the nice days are beautiful. Like I love them. When all the tree branches have like snow like this much on it, so it just looks like 3D almost. That's like so pretty to me. So we have snow here right now. You wish you were 16 again? I don't know if I wish I was 16 again. Maybe to do things over or better. But oh, you're funny when you don't have to leave the house. I don't mind leaving the house. I really don't. I love going out and about. I've always been a hard worker, but I think it's good to interact with the world, and it makes you feel good about your day when you've accomplished a bunch of things, right? So, Facebook name Tammy is the same as my name that you see it here on YouTube. I'm just gonna grab a cushion and just sit up a little bit. Sorry, I just felt like I'm a little too low, too low in the screen. But yeah, no, my Facebook name is the same as my YouTube name, just Sherry Weens. I do have two accounts for those of you who don't really know me. That was during my legal assistant course that they had asked us to create. Would they had asked us if we would be proud of the profile that we have online, and it to create a professional one. So that's the reason that I have two, but I don't even rarely use the one where I'm sitting in the car and I have my sunglasses on. I use the one where my face is looking at the camera. So but there are two, but those are the only two. So if you see any other ones, please report them because they're not me. Just so you know. Obviously, this is live, so this is coming from my lips. Not in the white stuff. You know what, Tammy? I don't mind going out in the white stuff, to be honest with you. The snow isn't that bad if you dress for it. You know what I mean? So you have to like getting bundled up once in a while and going out and enjoying the cool, crisp, fresh air. You know what I mean? And there's nothing else like it. I'm telling you, it refreshes the lungs and the brain, and it just puts you alive. So yeah, if you've never experienced snow or Canada, I totally suggest coming and checking it out. It's really not as cold as what some people think it is. However, if you show up in shorts from Jamaica and a t-shirt or tank top and flip-flops, yeah, you're going to be ice freezing, of course. But, you dress for the weather on where you're going, and it's really actually not that bad. Yes, we could get them right second time around. What are you talking about, hun? Marcia, sorry. I misread that. Um, Okay, so what should we talk about case wise? Because there's a few cases that I recently covered. If any of you guys watched the Nora Jackson video that I recently posted, and there was also a missing girl, Jamie Kloss. I believe the search is still going for her. Good morning, Sarah from Maine. So cool. What's your weather like over there? If we had to live our life over. Oh, I gotcha. Sorry, Marcia. Yes, yeah, that's true. We could get it right the second time around. Aren't you right about that, right? People, I used to say, you guys, oh, I wouldn't change a thing from my past. It's made me who I am today. But I feel that I would be a better person if I would have been able to redo those mistakes as a teenager or young woman and avoid some of those heartaches and tragedies and stuff like that. I think I would be a better person than I am right now. But I don't know. Some people say you don't really know that for sure. That you could have gotten even worse, or whatever. But you like the snow, Sarah. But then again, You're in Midwest. You're in the Midwest. Okay, cool. It's rainy over there, Sarah? Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't really mind the snow too much. I have nice furry boots and I have a super soft coat. It's got like the softest, like, it's almost like fur, but it's not fur. I don't know what it is. I'd have to go read the label. If anybody wants me to go and get it, I'll go grab it. It's literally right there. But I don't want to keep getting up and walking away because I went and grabbed the cushion already. So, what do I think about them still going after Martinez? Ooh, Sarah, please explain. What's the Martinez case? Please explain a little bit for me. And I know there's some viewers that have just kind of clicked in. I want to share that exciting news about potentially having a one-on-one interview with someone close to the Watts case. So I'm super excited about that because no other YouTuber would have that. No other, like, no radio station, no news stations. I would be the only one to get this, and I'm like, this could be awesome, and it could really like boost my channel and help everybody to like clue into me or see me or something, it could be my spotlight chance in a sense, have this one-on-one interview. So I don't want to ruin it on who it is and all of that because it's not for sure yet, but stay tuned for that for sure. I'm hoping to find out today whether or not it's going to happen. So if they say yes, I'm going to try to jump on that like right away today. So I'm so excited. I'm really hopeful that's something that'll happen. Hi, Cindy. No, I haven't done any research on the Danny Masterson case. I will write that down though. See, now I gotta get up again. Darn it. I feel bad for doing that on a live, you guys. I'm sorry. Grab a pen quick. Sorry. Excuse me. But no, I will definitely write that down, girl, and check it out. If you want to just give me a little tidbit about it, that would be great. And like where maybe it happened and good morning to everybody joining. Hi, Heather. Just joined. You might have an interview with someone from the Watts case. Yes, I do. Yes, I might. You have no idea how excited I am about that, you guys. Like, oh my gosh. And I'd be the only one. It's like an exclusive. Like, that could be something that explodes my channel. And I'm just like, I'm so happy that this could potentially be happening. So that's why I don't want to say too much about it, but I just want to give you a little, a little teaser, I guess, and pray and cross my fingers that it actually happens. For now, it's sunny, both Watts case and Hart case. Man, that Hart case, absolutely brutal that these two women would fool so many people into believing that they were good, kind, nice people. Oh, man. I mean, they literally took those kids to like movie sets to like be extras and, but that entire house was completely empty. Like no room had any personalization. There's no different like bedding or like a picture or anything. Like there was like two rooms that were done up in that house. And I believe that they were more like common rooms, where everybody's going to go into. It wasn't anybody's one room. It was a common area room, So they literally had no personal bed sheets, no curtain personalization, no paint personalization, nothing, like nothing. And I was like, oh, that's just so sad. And the picture frames hanging on the wall literally had the measurements of the pictures, the frames that they had bought. So no pictures even in there. Like, what is that? And the social services never said anything, or like, I don't know. Like that some pretty big things got overlooked. The fact that Sarah Hart had pleaded guilty to assault, you know, in 2010, I think it was. And like they were allowed to maintain and keep being foster homes and an adoptive home. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's pretty brutal that nobody stepped in, that social services just kept giving these people kids. For now, it's okay. So he is a Scientologist who's accused of raping 2 or 3 girls, and it's been covered up by the Scientology, allegedly the LAPD. Oh, really? Where did this happen, Cindy? In LA? I guess I should have guessed that, being that the LAPD was involved, but I mean, you just never know. Sorry, might have been a blonde dumb moment there, right? But I'm pretty real though, honestly. Like, I'll let you know if I'm like, oh, I don't know, or what is that? Especially abbreviations, especially United States abbreviations, right? If it isn't something that's even in Canada, I might not even know about it, other than like the basics of, you know, the big one like FBI and stuff like that, right? But there was a CBI, and there's still some discussion about whether or not that's the Criminal Bureau of Investigation or the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And maybe there's two, but I don't know. I'm so confused on some of those abbreviation things, you know? So, all right, I'll have to look into that. You know, I recently saw something on TV that was Scientology digging into Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I don't go with that. But at the same time, I don't know what the Scientology thing is necessarily fully either. I feel like that in itself is something, yeesh, you know, it's, hey, Bunny the Bear. Do I know if the Turpin family court case will be live on mainstream? I'm not sure that they're going to, but I think that there was some news stations that were approved actually to follow that, because I think it's KBL or so, I'm not sure what the news channel is out there that's pretty on top of the story. I did hear um, actually that the 6th of November is supposed to be a readiness conference for the Watts case. Hi, Bunny the Bear. Yes, Cindy, I am in Canada, but I mean I'm all on top of stories all over the world. So excuse me. So really it's no big deal. Actually, I encourage you guys that if you do hear of cases, because oftentimes something happening in the United States might not hit us all the time, and there are a lot of interesting cases that happen over there. So I do follow a lot of them. So please do share those names and cases with me, because I would love to dig into them. And as soon as I do start looking, I get that information too, kind of thing. It's just sometimes I got to go looking for it, and I need to know what I'm looking for to get there, right? Not all of it's on, you know, the main availabilities. But I think that the Scientology and all of that stuff is worldwide. It's in Canada too. There's people who study and practice, you know, that religion or whatever culture or what, I don't know. I don't know really. To be honest, I think it's a little, I don't know. It's not all right is what I'm thinking. Like, not that it's not all right. It's just not all right. Do you know what I mean? Some of it's a little bit off, and I don't really agree with all of it. So not my cup of tea, but to each their own, right? But that Hart case, that they were able to continue to adopt 6 separate children, you know, the West Memphis 3 case. I do not know about that one either, Annie C. Someone tell me a little bit about that. West Memphis. That's funny that you say that because Memphis is the place that Nora Jackson was arrested from for the allegedly stabbing her mother 50 times. And it's funny because like the girl had a cut on her hand and she's literally seen on Walgreens cameras grabbing bandages and literally like blood is like pouring all over the counter and the guy's giving her paper towel to kind of stop the bleeding and stuff like that. The prosecution was trying to say like that she cut her hand while she was stabbing her mother, but there isn't a drop of blood or there's no DNA, there's no skin cells or nothing found in the entire room that the incident happened in. That makes no sense at all. Like, and there's no way that Nora Jackson at 18 years old is a criminal mastermind that she was able to clean up every little spot of blood and the investigators were not able to find nothing on her DNA in that room. So I don't know. I don't believe it. And I really think that I believe her story that she cut herself at the Memphis barbecue. Hey, old soul Maggie. The vintage hosier looming cabinet behind you. You like that, hey? I love it. To be honest with you, it goes all the way up. Although I don't really like that part because I had painted it and I changed it back to white because it's not. So I still got to fix the top pieces. Oh, but my neck and my back and trying to bend upwards in that position for too long and stuff is just, oh my gosh, it's so hard on me. And I just can't do it. I got to get some surgery and then I can maybe be a little bit more limber and stuff like that. Maybe in the heart case, they removed all pictures before. Well, but the frames were hanging on the wall with the measurements still inside of it, just as if somebody had just bought them from the store. But they're hanging right there on the wall. Like, I don't know. Unless you just move into a place and you're sort of positioning on where you want things to go, who doesn't put their pictures in their frames before they hang it? I don't know, like that seemed really odd. And I guess if you're not really paying attention and you just look at it quickly, you might not even notice it. But isn't that weird? Isn't it weird that they weren't proud to portray their family in those photos in their own home? And the other ironic thing too is that the autopsy reports divulged that some of the kids had Benadryl in their system, but some of them didn't. Excuse me. And I think that that's because some of them caught on to the way that the Jennifer Hart and Sarah Hart were parenting and that Benadryl, was used in order to knock them out, in order to, numb their pain from the abuse that they were going through and stuff like that, right? I love that you love my cabinets, Maggie. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so short, girl. I literally have a step stool and I got to stand on the counter just to get up there, just to put some of those things up there, which I did so long ago, like 3 years ago, but of course I'm going to answer you, Bunny the Bear. All right, what's your comment? It is very weird, Cindy. Yes, that's so true. Annie was called Paradise Lost documentary. Damien excels. And 2 other of his pals got locked up for it and then set free. Okay. Where did that happen, Annie? To keep up with the latest on the Turpin case via my channel. Oh, that's so, thanks. That's awesome, Bunny the Bear. Sorry, I saw the first sentence and then I realized there was like 3 other comments I had to look at first. That's funny. That's really awesome of you. I totally love the support that you guys give me. I did recently find out though that if you guys don't like my videos, they don't get suggested to other people and other channels. So I don't know how I could encourage people to like the videos kind of regularly, even if maybe they didn't like the video, but that's kind of going to be a hard one to cover, right? Can you like it even if you didn't like it? Like I'm sure people would be like, no. Tell you, my cat hairs get almost into everything. It's like Robin Hood Hills, west of Memphis. Okay. What was, I gotta scroll up to Annie's comment to see what that name was again. Oh, Paradise, okay. Lost. I love documentaries, to be honest with you guys. It sort of plays in the background just until I hear something of interest, and then I'll click into it or look more into it and stuff like that, you know? But I'll try to look into that for sure, Annie. So it is very disturbing to watch at the beginning. If you do watch it, let me know what you think. Yeah, I will for sure. I'm always interested in sort of, catching new stories and stuff like that. And there's just so many of them. Excuse me. My big thing is that if I can spread awareness on something that causes or even one person to sort of look at their situation a little bit differently or help someone else that's maybe in a poor situation, I feel like that's been a good thing, you know? Hi, Irene. You love my show. Thanks so much. I appreciate the thumbs up that you guys have given me so far. That's awesome. I love the support. So that's really great. Thank you, everybody. And if some of my viewers here on YouTube want to come over to my Facebook channel to follow me there too, I do give like kind of I started to do like a day before video preview of tomorrow is going to be our live on YouTube. So please join us, blah, 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 Please join me. So I'm wondering if there's anybody that's ever going to come forth and sort of take social services to task in the United States. I mean, I understand that would just be an absolutely huge lawsuit. And I feel like there would have to be quite a few people that would have to come together in order to make that happen. But the other huge problem with that is the amount of money that it would cost to go against someone like the government, right? It's not easy to hold somebody of the highest stature to, held accountable for their mistakes, right? And I mean, they should be held accountable for the mistakes. They shouldn't just be, allowed to do whatever, whenever. Free me life. Just wanted to stop by and tell you how much I love you. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Any thumbs up that people want to shoot my way, that would be awesome, you guys. I do love the support, as I said. I'm sitting pretty new, but it feels like I'm sitting down talking to an old friend. Oh, that's really cool. That's a nice feeling. I like that. I'm pretty easy to get along with, And I'm pretty non-judgmental. Like I can talk about absolutely anything and everything without getting upset about it, Because I stand so strong in my own beliefs and my own skin, I'm not worried to hear other people's beliefs or thoughts or feelings or opinions or emotions. In fact, I'll even try to help you work it out a little bit or something, That's just my personality though. You can hear somebody in my apartment building doing laundry. It's right below my kitchen where we are, so they've been going strong at it for like at least an hour. Hey Amy, how's it going, girl? The match made in heaven. Aw, that's great. So sweet. I wonder where Chef Betsy is today. She usually tunes in too, but maybe she's busy doing another event or something. Being a chef, she must be whipping up something. When is the next court date for Chris Watts? Well, I heard that it was November 6th, Tuesday. I heard that there's a readiness conference. So I'm going to try to get some footage of that, you know. And then it's supposed to be on the 19th for the hearing, but you know, that's I guess providing it's snowing where you are. That's providing I just want to finish that sentence that they're ready, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else they would possibly need to get together, but let's hope the prosecution's going to hand over all the evidence and not withhold anything, because that would just be a Brady law violation. And honestly, like, I think that someone needs to be held accountable for what happened here. Yeah, it is soon then. It is. Yeah. You're so ready to find out what's going on. Yeah, I know, right? You and everybody else along with me, right? It's just honestly, I felt really bad that some of my viewers thought that I was like against Shanann or pro Chris or vice versa, you know? Um, I'm neither. And I just felt like, like I'd woken up a couple times and there was some pretty brutal messages and stuff from people who were angry with me, thinking that I was, and it's because I went and said, like, what do you think? Do you think that Shanann could have done something like this? Or do it was one of my videos where I was interacting with you guys and asking your opinion and your thought. And somebody immediately just thought that I was kind of running with that and, crapped all over me and stuff like that. I don't understand, how people could watch one little piece and then gather all of that, assumption from that one little piece. It's like, come on, people, but whatever. Yes, we need to get this Watts case underway. And I really want to get the Turpin case underway as well. Like, I want to know what's in those journals from the kids, because I honestly just don't think that David and Louise were on top of monitoring what the hell was even in those journals. So, some people questioned on whether or not, well, like how can you think that there's even anything written in the journals about their parents? Well, they gave it to 13 kids. I honestly don't think that they were sitting there reading everybody's journals to make sure that there was no incriminating evidence in there. I think they just looked at it as an alley for them to sort of vent and, I don't know, be creative and just sort of get rid of some of the anger that they might have retained from the way that their parenting was going, right? So I do think that there's incriminating things in those journals, and I don't think that they knew about everything that was in those journals. And I think that those just got shoved away, month after month after month when they needed new books, and that was it. Like, I don't know. I don't think that they ever got reviewed by the family or anything. It wasn't something that was shared. It was just something that they each had to help them deal with the way that their parents were parenting, is how I see that. But I mean, that's just my opinion on it, right? No, I'm really not judgmental at all. I call myself non-biased because it's true. Like it's non-biased. I don't know why I put a T on there, but that's just my talk. But do you know what I mean, right? Like, I just feel like I'm really down the middle with things until I get the proof, because I'm all about proof. That's the thing with me. Because you can tell me, whatever you want till you're blue in the face, but if you can't prove it, I might not believe it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought that it was weird that the status conference was changed too. And I can't even say that that was me that got that information. It was one of my viewers. It might have been Amy. It might have been Angelique that told me that that information had changed and that they were going to be doing it on the 6th. So I was like, well, shoot, like, because if I hadn't known that, if somebody hadn't shared that with me, I might have completely missed that for you guys. So I felt like a heel, to be honest. That's the election day in the US. That's so weird. Interesting. So maybe they're thinking that if they do it then, there'll be less press coverage because everybody's going to be focused on the US elections versus wanting to be focused on this case because there's really nothing else going on or something. I don't know, right? Interesting. Those mean critical comments need to take a course in manners. Yeah, I don't understand why people go on blast off, and sometimes with very little information attached to them, or they don't really know me at all, or they only watch the one piece and then they shit all over me because they don't really know. And it's like, hold up, wait a minute, you need to look at the full picture, not just one little piece of that picture, because I'll always weigh both sides. Like, oh, they said this. What do you guys think? Well, they said that. What do you guys think? And I like the interacting with my audience. So it's, that's just how I do here. But every channel is different, right? They might not have a trial for the Turpins. Amy, I heard that too. But if David and Louise continue to plead not guilty, they will have no choice but to go through a trial and allow a jury. Now, the only reason that they will choose to not have that trial is if David and Louise change their plea after seeing the evidence that the prosecution has against them. They will have a decision to make as to whether or not they feel that they can win with a jury against all this evidence, and they can fight this, and they possibly have a chance, or take a lesser plea and admit that they're guilty to all of those accused accusations and go forth with just sentencing from the judge. So that's the big thing, is like they're going to see what the prosecution has against them. They're going to see what all those journals had in them that they probably are going to wish they had read over now, but like, evil can't cover their tracks that well, in my opinion. They're going to end up coming out sometime or another. And, then you're up shit's creek, right? Then you got to be held accountable for your actions. So I feel bad for the people who have gotten away with heinous, horrible things that never got caught, because they might think that they totally fooled the entire world and got away with it. But one day they're going to have to meet their maker, and they're not going to get away with it forever. So, yeah, like, I don't know. But that's my belief. That's where I stand, right? So, yeah, election day. I'm shocked to hear that they had changed that to the exact same day. And I feel like that had something to do with the fact that they're trying to alleviate the pressure of media and stuff covering Chris Watts. If they're so busy covering, the U.S. election, what's anybody really going to be focused on the Watts case for, right? So might be a little bit of a sly move there. Hi, Nancy. Hi. How's it going, girl? Those Turpin people are so weird. Annie, you are so right. Yeah. It's funny that Louise, too, just seems still so, I don't know. Like, I think there might be something mentally wrong with her, but not mentally wrong with her enough that she deserves to avoid charges, to just get some mental treatment and then be released. So I think she knows she was smart enough to cover all of this, change the kids' routine, keep them away from the public. I'm doing good, Nance. I'm doing okay. Managing my pain this morning, doing all right. It's 3 p.m. already in the UK. It's almost wine time. I'm just kidding. I'm still on coffee. So, um, I feel like the Turpins definitely they're going to have to pay for what they did, and there's no way that, and they might avoid this trial, you guys. They might just totally avoid this trial by pleading guilty to all of the charges against them after seeing what the prosecution has against them. So it's taken them how many months, right? If this happened in January, that they were arrested, and we're almost at the end of the year now. So it took, 8, 9 months, for 10 months for them to read through all of these um, journals in order to gather up the information that they need to prosecute, these parents for their abuse, right? You will join for wine, 10 o'clock in Chicago, drinking coffee too. Turpin crazies. Yeah, I know, right? You were just thinking about wine time. Love it. Who doesn't like wine time? I shouldn't say it like that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like wine time, and that's okay. That's totally okay. I personally love having a glass of wine here and there for sure. A glass or two, sometimes three, but then it's like, okay. But my favorite wine is red wine. I don't know about you guys, what your favorite might be. Totally off case topic, but that's the good thing about lives is we can just bounce back and forth, whatever and whatever. You're relaxing, having some red wine. They don't have white wine glasses on the. Oh, you do like your white Pinot Grigio? Nice. I don't know if I said that right. Grigio. Anyways, I like white once in a while. I find it gives me a little bit of a headache sometimes, so my body just really likes the red mostly. But once in a while, I get a little hankering for a white wine, and it's nice. I have friends that are, or you like the rose. Yeah, rose is okay. I don't like anything carbonated. I like just the flat. And I don't like it too dry, but I don't like it too sweet. It's kind of right in the middle. It's better for you. That's what I heard for your ovaries and things like that. So, yeah, yeah. I love my wine. I'm a wino. That's funny. So the Turpins are due back on the 30th of November. But I wonder. Good morning, Angelique. Yay. 8 a.m. Shoot, hey? And we're already almost an hour in. Oh, I feel bad making you guys get up so darn early. I do it in the morning to have kind of that coffee chat time in the morning, but well, good morning, sunshine. Sorry. Just be like, shh, let me wake up. Nancy, the Turpin kids are doing great. I mean, they have an awesome support system. So, they're the last I heard, they were, trying to get licenses and educating themselves. And one of them wanted to go into being a nurse, probably because of, the feeling that they got when they went into security in the hospital, and the kindness of people. It really takes a certain kind of heart, in my opinion, to be in the nursing industry. You need a huge amount of patience, and you have to want to love to work shift works and long hours, and intense and immense amount of patience for people. I feel like I wouldn't be good in that kind of a position. I just don't have that level of patience that some of those nurses have. And I tip my hat to those, people that are able to do that job so well. Some of them are just, and then the ones that are abusing it and, abusing patients and people, it just makes me cringe, like get out of your job, go and do something else, find another career. If you find yourself getting in the position where you hate your job so much that you're going to be mean and rude and painful to other people, I mean, that's brutal. How do you go and sleep at night knowing that you just slapped somebody, who's elderly or, whatever because you lost your patience. I mean, and I'm not the most patient soul. I can get pretty impatient sometimes. So for me, I just automatically know like that's not a job I could ever do. And that's why I tip my hat to those people. Like, wow, kudos to you guys who are able to do that job so well, the people who do it. You're late to the party. We're discussing all kinds of different things. We've been on the Watts case, we've been on the Hart case. Student nurse, Sarah, I tip my hat to you, girl. And I hope that, the people that maybe get into it and then see that maybe it's not for them, maybe they don't like it as much or they find themselves being impatient and they can't do it or something. I hope they do find something else or take that education and jump into a field that's nearer to it or something, just maybe not so, um, you know, involved or necessarily dealing with patients so directly or something, right? Because there's so many fields in medical that you can go into. So I tip my hat to you guys who are able to do it, though. Like, honestly, it's amazing the people who can do that job. Great. Anything, Angelique? Talking Turpins. Yeah, Turpins, Hart case, Watts case. 2 more weeks, Well, you know what, Nancy, there is a status conference hearing on Tuesday, November 6th for the Watts case. Hey, Francine. Bonjour. Salut, ma belle. Did anyone think there was other Turpin children gone missing? No. The Turpin kids, as far as I know, they still talk with each other. They Skype pretty regularly. Some of them live on their own. Some of them are still in foster care. The younger ones, obviously. Yes, nurses rock. Honestly, they really do. The ones that do a heck of a good job are amazing. That's honest. Honestly, it's amazing. I don't know if they're going to televise. I'm not sure about the Watts case. The Turpin case, I think, might have some televisation in there for sure. Come across many in my life who abuse. Yeah, that's just sad though. I mean, I don't know. I just see that and I cringe. I can't even watch those videos, you guys, of people hurting children or hurting elderly. I can't even watch it. Like, I can't even freaking cover stories on the darn thing. It pisses me off so much. And I'm just like, are you freaking serious? I want to crawl through the damn screen and choke someone. Sorry, but like, seriously, what the hell are you doing? Oh, there was one that I had caught some of it because I didn't know what I was really watching at first. And it was a black woman and a little girl. And they were just sitting on the couch. And then all of a sudden oh my gosh, you guys. She's kicking her and like throwing her and like, oh, just brutal. I can't even watch it. I'm just like, are you serious? It ended up coming out that the father saw that or something, and he ended up taking her downstairs and like beating her with a belt and like himself, and like pretty much the whole family was torn apart because like she went to jail, he got arrested for that. I think he got let out. I'm sure the child was completely freaking traumatized. Excuse me while I grab a Kleenex. But how can you do that? Like, how can you do that to someone else? Like, are you serious? If you think that that won't come back one day, boy. Yeah, no excuse. Ugh, sorry. So, just brutal. Sorry, guys. Yes, Nancy, I've seen a lot of mistreatment in nursing homes as well. And that is just as brutal. Like, these elderly people that are just like blocking themselves from the people they're supposed to be able to trust to help them, get in and out of bed and stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh. Just brutal. Sorry. That's why I can't do stories on that kind of stuff, you guys, because I'll probably literally just break down crying, trying to cover the darn thing. I can't separate my emotion to it. like news people do and stuff. Like I'm too involved when I start watching something like that. I feel like I'm right there and I'm like, holy cow, like that's just brutal. No, I don't think that there was any Turpin kids that perished because that would have shown on because you guys remember that they did DNA for all of the kids in the beginning of the Turpin case. They thought that David Turpin had possibly fathered some of those children and that Louise wasn't necessarily the biological mother. She might have been the mother, but she wasn't really the mother. So they actually tested all of them, and they are all biologically both David and Louise's, even though there was a lewd act against a minor, against one of the Turpin girls. And there's some talk about them having 3 or 4 boys. I thought that there was only the two, but I don't know. I don't know. Uh, so, oh, I totally agree with you, Yvette. I don't, there's certain things I wouldn't be able to be a juror for due to my own experiences. Because if you've ever been in an abusive experience, you're kind of biased at that point. So you're not even good to be a juror. You have to be a complete outsider to the entire thing and able to look at it, completely neutrally in order to decide whether the person is guilty or not. So if you have emotional feelings attached to whatever it is that had happened, you might automatically just go with the prosecution's side. And the defense won't allow that. Like they will ask the questions that need to be asked to find out who each person is on that jury in order to know that there is no possibility that it's tainted in any way. Because they have to be able to be 1,000% neutral. You know what I mean? So there's certain things that I wouldn't even be able to be a jury about in the jury about, because of my own personal experiences. Why didn't DCFS step in at some point? That's what I don't understand because social services came and knocked on the Heart's door many times. And there was even assault abuse allegations that Sarah Watts pled guilty to in Minnesota, and they ended up being able to move to another state and continue adopting. Like, I just don't understand why the background check wasn't done more thoroughly, or why the judge allowed Sarah Watts to take the lesser plea of the assault versus having the malicious abuse or punishment on a child charge, which would have been more serious, which would have prevented them from continuing to adopt and abuse children. They need to check in Texas grounds where they, yeah. Yeah, that's true, right? Because they did live in Texas. The Turpins lived in Texas for like 10 years, I thought, or something close to that. I personally have been chosen for jury duty a few times in my life, but um, never actually went through the entire process. Didn't schools wonder? That's the thing too, is that the one of those Turpin kids, the boy, I believe, was actually in a public school for a while, and nobody said anything. They just kind of made fun of him for being, dirty or poor or, not clean or whatever. And then once Louise kind of caught wind of what was, people were picking up on things, she just yanked him right out of that school and they never went back. Like, I don't know. You would think that the school should have some sort of, expectation that they should have known who was kind of coming and going. But I guess um, that's a lot of responsibility to put on a school to have to keep track of kids, I guess, right? But But if you had a child that was suddenly just there and then gone, you would think that somebody should have had to look into that. So I feel like that slipped through the cracks a little bit, you know? The Hart Turpin case, both very similar. Yeah, absolutely. The fact that they were dressed similarly when they went out, the fact that they withheld food as punishment, they were physically abusive. They did travel and make it look like they had a great family life. They had great support system and stuff like that, which is just awful. Like to go through that amount of abuse and then have to hide that. Just sad. After California gets done throwing the book at David and Louise, Texas also tries them. Yeah, they should bring the cadaver dogs, but well, yeah, maybe they should onto their property. Yeah, it was a pretty big property too, right? So yeah, let's talk about a system screw up in both cases. Yeah, no kidding. I was stating earlier that I'm kind of shocked that nobody in the United States has bothered to take on social services and take them and hold them accountable. You know what I mean? Because there's family members that are attached to these kids that are dying and in their care and stuff. I'm shocked there isn't somebody that has enough money to take social services to court over somebody losing their life. No witnesses yet to stand trial with the Watts case. No, we don't have that information yet, but I'd imagine that the prosecution has a pretty substantial list probably. I wonder if Shanann's family is going to have to go through testifying on the stand against Chris. I mean, I don't know. Like, I got to tell you, if it was my daughter that was gone, and I thought that it was at the hands of the man that I gave my daughter to, I would probably testify too, right? I don't know. Waiting for the mistresses. Yeah, no kidding. I wonder how many there are, to be honest with you. I really hope that they look more into that as well, because with the whole gay affair guy that came out of the woodworks and stuff, like it was found out that that guy was couch surfing and he was broke and he saw an opportunity to sort of I don't know what the hell he was thinking, to be honest with you. He saw an opportunity to get paid to say something about this story. Meanwhile, it wasn't even true. There was no gay affair, and this guy was just trying to get some money out of this story. Like, that's brutal. Had lots of, I think he might have had lots of affairs as well. I feel like there's more people out there and they just haven't maybe come forward yet because maybe they feel like they really just don't have anything to come forward about, really. If all Chris Watts did was sleep with you know random various women, and that's all it was sex, and it wasn't, he wasn't sadistic, he wasn't because there was an allegation that he was into choking, right, during sex. I don't know if that was the mistress or if that was the friend. I don't know who had said that exactly right now, but to be honest, like yeah, like Shanann's parents did trust Chris, of course. But I feel like those women that may have slept with Chris Watts probably aren't even going to bother coming forward if that's all that it was. You know what I mean? There's really no reason like to come forward at that point. But who knows what the prosecution has dug into and what they've found and who they've found. I'd imagine that they'd be all over, trying to talk to each one of those people. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Yvette, I don't know how true some of these, these things are. I'm so doubtful because of the gay lover thing being a complete freaking farce. I'm kind of leery to believe what's gonna come out. I got to see the evidence and the proof. Like if someone came out with, some of his clothing that had been at their house and stuff, I would totally believe that that person had been there, that Chris had been involved with that person. Yeah, I wonder if she was promiscuous too, though, you know? I don't know. And don't anybody go getting all mad at me because I'm just curious about what both sides would have been like in their relationship. Because there was so much fighting, and it just seemed like a huge lack of respect from Shanann towards Chris, and there had to be a reason for that, in my opinion. It didn't just come out of nowhere. I don't know. In my opinion, she probably saw some inappropriate messages on his phone or caught wind of inappropriate infidelity and things he was doing on the side that, you know, created for her to have this animosity against him and not want to respect him anymore, just call him down, call him out, call him anything she wanted except that she loved him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Chris Watts case has a lot of similarities to Scott Peterson. And, I think there was some talk about the fact that Chris Watts had a magazine with that story of the Scott Peterson story and stuff. Yeah, Holly, he might just get off. Who knows? It depends on this evidence, to be honest, and the autopsy reports and what's in those. Mm, yeah, I know, Nancy. She did seem like a little bit, and she admitted to being competitive, right? So, but I don't know. That's still no reason to die, to lose your life and to kill anyone is just, there's no excuse. There's so many other ways to separate yourself from somebody, to kill them. It only ruins your entire life, in my opinion. You might even get away with it for a little while, but mentally, I can't imagine that you're going to be able to sleep soundly and enjoy your steak dinners and carry on with life as normal. You know what I mean? I feel like that would eat away at someone. I think she knew that Chris Watts was cheating too. I think that she probably found out. What's the deal too with the fact that she had possibly two cell phones? So I'd like to know that, and if there was any infidelity on the other side as well, you know, or was one phone just strictly used for business and the other one was just strictly used for family, or was there more to this story? I mean, I'm not trying to like put this out there or anything, but most people that have more than one cell phone are kind of usually doing something illegal. I don't know. In my opinion, it's kind of the way that I've seen it in the past. So I know he admitted to killing them or killing Shanann. That's, yeah, yeah, that's one. That's minimum. Yeah, minimum first degree murder, but the Cassie Anthony story. Excuse me. she, she was hurt. Funny note. But because she was hurt. Yeah, Nancy, that's quite possible, right? Hi, Ellen. How are ya? No, I don't think he'll walk, Sarah, but I wonder what he'll be finally charged with kind of thing, you know? What do you mean what who was Chris with while he was barbecuing Yvette? What part are you thinking of there? Yes, 25 to life would be man one. Yeah, murder one. What's the whole Cassie Anthony case? Master manipulator, that girl. Okay, I'll have to look into that one. How she could just lie like that. Really, hey? Hope they throw the book at Chris. Yeah. Well, it seems like with the judicial system, though, you guys, you can pay for justice, more than some other people. He'll get manslaughter for killing Shanann. Yeah, Sarah, you could be right, right? He will be in for life. Yeah, I doubt the death penalty, but I wouldn't be surprised if he takes his own life after all of this. I really wouldn't. I think maybe the only reason that he's sort of not doing that right now is to see if there's a chance he could get out. But I think once it's all said and done, he may possibly commit suicide. I could see that being an ending for him, where he's just, I mean, he went from almost having everything to now being in a 4x4, 4x6 cell and having nothing, like not even a TV or nothing. So, yeah, that would be a weird twist, Angelique. Was she convicted? Good one, Sherry. Do that one. Yeah, I'll look into the Cassie Anthony story for sure. See about doing, one story, one main story about it, kind of thing. Well, that's what I mean, Nancy. I feel like he's going to think like, yeah, I don't have anything else to live for, and he'll know his fate at that point as to how long he's expected to be in there, whether he's supposed to die in there, whether he's supposed to be on the, maybe he will get the death penalty and he'll be on death row, and he'll just decide to do it himself, or who knows, right? Because we don't really actually know what the prosecution's going to go for in the case, right? Well, she's going the fact that she was gone. He was already barbecuing steak and shrimp. Oh, happy and yeah, and free he feels without his family around. Yeah, his actions are very questionable after all of that was over, for sure. I feel bad for the family who took him in. Their friends, not not knowing before he had confessed. They opened their home to him. The poor husband of that woman, of the couple that let them in, like, he was just crying. He was just like, I would have never let him in my house near my children if I would have known that he killed them, and he was just crying like I don't think that Ellen, I don't think that Chris Watts will ever go into general population because of what he did. The fact that he killed, if this comes out that he did actually kill the kids, I don't think he'll ever go into general population because he just would never last. He would have to be in protected population for forever, in my opinion. Yeah, no kidding, Angelique. Whatever happened to using condoms? You don't want more children. Yeah. Yeah, to go and get pregnant a third time was just the, straw that broke the camel's back, as they say, right? Yeah, I think, Nancy, I think that he might be thinking that his family can pay for his innocence in some way right now, and that he might have a chance at getting out of those walls, but I don't think so. I don't know though. I got to see that proof and that evidence. Yeah, Sarah, you're right. Like it's pretty shocking, right? I feel like he created that media frenzy himself, because why do that? Like, did he not think that they were going to not look into it? They were just going to take his word for it and be like, oh, this man totally lost his entire family. One day they were here and the next day they weren't. Oh, well, that's really sad. Like, obviously, as soon as that was heard, it started to get picked into and dug into and looked into. And you know what I mean? Like, and the cadaver dogs that were just like barking like crazy while he's giving his live, interview was brutal. Like, I just feel like, if it hadn't have been for Ashley Banfield's show where she had actually a dog trainer from the police department industry that had stated that dogs can alert in different ways, that they're trained in different ways. Some dogs alert with their tail, some dogs alert with barking, some dogs alert with laying down, some dogs alert with standing or whatever. She says that they can be trained in many different ways. So, how do we know that those cadaver dogs were not alerting? Because somebody had thought that maybe that was them saying, no, nothing has happened here. But I think that it was stating that they knew that something horrible had happened there. I feel those dogs were alerting, and that's why they were barking. I don't know. Somebody said that they thought that the dogs barking wasn't an alerting. It was alerting that there wasn't anything there. But I disagree. I think they were alerting to the fact that three people were killed in that house, four if you include the baby. But I don't think the dogs can alert to something like that. I think they're alerting to the people who did die in that house. There's a scent when someone passes away. Like you can't just, I don't know, you can't just get rid of it, and especially not for the cadaver dogs. I don't think he expected to get caught either. Should Nancy's friend is what triggers the whole investigation? Ellen, sorry, what do you mean? Because it says he didn't expect to get caught. Should Nancy's friend is what triggered the whole investigation. So I'm not sure what you were trying to say there. How could she be so fertile with all of her health problems? Nancy, I feel that her health problems were misdiagnosed. That's my guess, to be honest with you. He must have put on a good show for the friends that let him into their home. Yeah, no kidding. Well, and they had no idea. I mean, you really can't blame them, right? They had him stay the night. Yeah, it was kind of sad, but they didn't know. And at least he wasn't so psycho he killed them too, like really. At least they're safe. Yeah, I heard them barking. Why didn't they mention on his interview? I don't know. Probably because it would have made him stumble and look extremely guilty. But it's too bad that somebody didn't ask that question right then and there. But probably because he's not a freaking cadaver expert either. Neither am I. I mean, we're just all guessing about this. But I would assume that he would just come up with some kind of a, like, I don't know, kind of a thing, and make the person who asked him that kind of look stupid, because why would he know? He wouldn't know anything about the cadaver dogs. He's no pro in that area. The only reason that I know the things that I know is because I saw the expert on that Ashley Banfield crime show. So crazy ego. Personally, I think Shanann gets a bad rap. I just think that she was kind of fed up. I don't. I I think that any of us would have been the exact same way, you guys. There's no way after 6 years of being with a guy, and he's pretty good looking, he's not a bad looking guy, to all of a sudden find out that his penis has been in other women. I would completely lose respect for him too. I would completely be upset, and I wouldn't want to keep him around either, but you have to. You just had kids with him, you're married to him. Like, you know what I mean? What do you do at that point? So, obviously she's trying to maintain making her family life work, and she's trying to maintain a home for her daughters and stuff at the same time as she's just completely disgusted with the fact that her husband is so shallow to go and lay down with someone else because he's stressed out about money or whatever. I mean, sit down and talk about it. Write out a game plan. Freaking list the house up for sale and move somewhere smaller. There's a ton of other things and options that they could have looked into versus, him going his way, her going her way, with her thrive in Lavelle and traveling, and him with his affairs and work. And, nobody, in my opinion, was really focused on the girls. The little girls are the ones that kind of suffered the most through all of that crap. Right? Yeah, he is a good looking guy. That's what kind of makes this, for me, it was just such jaw dropping thing. Like, holy crap. She kept saying she found doctors to help her through. Well, and maybe she did, and she was trying to boost up the doctors that were helping her and stuff. But, oh, that Shannon's friend exposed it all. Well, I don't know. She could even function in your family. So, yeah. Yeah, the whole thing is a little bit odd, right? Yeah, Holly probably had an ego the size of a mountain. Mount Rushmore. That's funny. Um, then you go, child support probably would have been a huge deal, but like, whatever, right? You got to take care of your responsibilities if that's what you did. For her mom's responsibility. Yeah, I found that the kids were sort of, I mean, they certainly weren't included in all of the traveling and stuff like that, right? They stayed home with grandparents. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the kids were the ones that suffered the most throughout, them trying to make their marriage work and turning away from each other to do it. I don't know. Like, that'll never work, right? That turning away from each other will never actually help your relationship to work. It's only going to deteriorate it, just a matter of time, in my opinion. You have to turn towards each other. You have to, sit down and actually want to hash it out and want to make things work, because there's going to be times, I'm sure, that it's just where you're not going to want to make that work, right? Well, his job was in jeopardy after the confession. He was fired, right? And I know that he did go down in salary. There was a position change or something, or I'm not sure if it was a job change or what exactly, but he had went from making like 140K a year to like 60K a year, somebody had mentioned, and I was like, well, that's a huge drop, right? I mean, you go from living one kind of a lifestyle down to minimalizing like everything you freaking do and have, right? I mean, everything. And we all know, like, they weren't really living super cheap, right? I mean, Shanann was cooking up like huge lambs and making cannolis and baking and huge roasts. And I don't know, like, she made sure she took care of that family, right? But that costs money. That's not cheap, right? I'm sure that one, hunk of meat was close to $50 or more. Who knows? Grandparents were out of state too. Yeah, they were, Nancy. They didn't live right there as far as I know. Yeah, Amy. Excuse me. He is sick to if all of this comes out true and it was at his hands and this is all him, then he definitely has a lot to worry about. Yes, a little too generous, in my opinion, right? But when you're portraying your life to be that fake it till you make it and all of that, you have to make it look like you know, you're rolling in it, I guess. It's just sad that, people feel the need to do that. Yeah, he knew there was no cameras in the back. Yeah. Messing with his mind. Yeah, I still have the shake, you guys, that has the FDA warnings and all of this stuff on it. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Keep out of reach of children, not suitable for individuals under 18 years of age. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, consult a doctor before using this product. If you are taking any medication or have any type of medical issue, consult your doctor before using this product. So personally, I have some medical issues. I don't know. That worries me to take something like this, because I wouldn't want to, do something that would jeopardize my own health. I'm not sure if they had to fly in to babysit or not. They, or just drove, if it was just a state away or something that wouldn't really be too huge of a drive. I don't know. Depends, right? They did file for bankruptcy in 2011, 2012, and everything does cost a lot of money. You're right, Holly. What's a big life? What about catering to the kids, especially when they got older? Yeah, the house always seemed like really super clean too. Like it didn't seem very lived in, but I guess that was the OCD of Shanann, that she liked things in a certain place and all of that. And I mean, I can relate in a sense, but I mean, there was always sort of one room in my house that was like the kids' playroom where, that's where the chaos was. Go to the playroom, go to, wherever that was, but everybody's household is different too, right? Sorry, Tricky 1122. You're asking when you finished the high school year? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. Are you thinking that I'm young? Because if you're thinking that you're asking me that or something, I'm 40 years old. I'm not in high school, not even close. But I'm not sure if I'm understanding that question properly. Perfect, Amy. I'm going to be wrapping this up in the next 2-3 minutes here. So take care, Amy, and you have a great day. House how housework calls. I think you're trying to say. You're like housework calls. Housework calls. Totally understand. Well, take care, and you have a great day. Yeah, the lifestyle would have definitely changed. You thought I was in my 20s. Aw, thanks. Nope. I'm all naturally 40. I just turned 40 in August, so I finished high school. Not no, I didn't finish that long ago. I did finish as an adult, just not recently. I don't look it. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Poor Dieter. I know, right? He did have to witness the whole thing. I wonder who has Dieter now. I think it's Shanann's brother, Frankie. I think he's got the dog. Looking young. Sorry for a ridiculous question. That's okay. There's no stupid questions. You don't know unless you ask, right? No worries at all. Bring it. Yeah, her dad or her brother, I'm pretty sure, has the dog. It's too bad that dogs can't talk because I bet you that that dog would have a lot to say. I bet you he'd have a lot that he witnessed and heard and saw. And I'd also really like to know who had the doll covered up with the blanket on um, the picture. Did everybody see that picture? I'm not sure if you all saw that, but it was kind of pretty odd that. Um, I'll see if I got it here. I know I still have it. I'm just not exactly sure where it is here. But I think that it was really odd. Here it is, guys. This photo, we don't know if it was Chris Watts that sent this to her, you know, or if it was one of the girls that did that and he took a picture of it showing her. We have no idea, you know, how that happened or whatever. So I'd really love to know some answers about that. I don't have a card, Trixie 1122. I kind of really need a car because yeah, I actually spent this past summer. I took all my savings, you guys. I went to BC, Manitoba, or BC, Canada. Sorry, not Manitoba. I'm from Manitoba. But I went all the way, like 3 provinces, to go and look at some vehicles and kind of combine like a road trip and buying a vehicle. So I go all the way down to BC to get a vehicle. I end up spending all my money on this vehicle. I drive it back home to Manitoba and I get it in for a safety to find out if it's roadworthy. And it's got a ton of things that are wrong with it. Like the axles were gone. There was an oil leak that was too far in. They would have had to drop the engine to get to the oil leak to fix it. And then I found out that the dashboard was switched out on the car. So I purchased the car at 83,000 kilometers on it or miles or whatever. And then all of a sudden found out that it had probably over 400,000. So I got completely ripped off. I lost all my money. When I did sell the vehicle, I sold it to a mechanic. I told him about all the horror stories with the darn thing. He bought it knowing the stories about it, but that money I ended up putting into my bills. So I'm kind of back to like saving for a freaking car again. And it's just sad, you know, that the world has to be so deceiving like that. But yes, I am looking to get into a vehicle hopefully soon. I have to, you're saying? Yeah. I do have pretty thick hair. Yeah. Thank you for noticing. Yours is thinning, but you're 56. See, and I'm only 40. So it's supposed to help thicken the apple cider. Hey, give her a whirl. I'd be trying it too. I don't think I need my hair any thicker, but I love my curls. That's my big thing. I used to wear my hair straight, like poker straight, when I was younger, but now I like my curls. I feel like it gives a different dimension to my face. And my face, in my opinion, was starting to elongate. It used to be a little bit shorter when I was younger. And now that I got older, it's gotten a little bit longer here. And so, like, the hair just made it look really long. I didn't really like how it made me look anymore. So I changed it to no, we don't have any public transportation. So I do a lot of walking when I go out. Probably a lot went on behind the scenes. Yeah. Well, let's hope that there are some people, Holly, that know about those behind the scenes things, like the family members, right? Bits and pieces from trial, but at least more. Yeah. Yeah, Nancy, it was a sad situation. And, I had a boyfriend for a little while and he had a truck, so I was using that. But yeah, I didn't, he was kind of narcissistic. So I was like, see you later. So people say that Shanann said in previous videos that Bella couldn't take good pictures, and that picture was perfect. Yeah. So maybe it wasn't the kids that took that picture, but maybe it was the kids that set up the doll like that on the couch. Chris always came across as very bland. Oh, interesting, Allison. You don't know, he seemed quiet, but I liked that, like, even his college friends were saying that he was a go-getter. You like my hair? Thanks, Nancy. Chris Watts comes across as a blank person. You think so too, Annie? Yeah. I guess I think that he was quiet and reserved, and I don't mind people like that. I feel like I can pull some conversation with them. I can still make that work, but you know, Nancy, it does keep me fit walking around. Although with a vehicle, I'd be able to like take myself to things. Like I'd like to go and take a dance class. I'd like to take up like a bowling league or something that I can go to. I'd like to take myself to things that I could be more active, versus just having walking as my active alley, right? His witness was intriguing. So stay single, girl. It's much easier. I hear you, girl. Don't need a man. The universe will find a way. Yeah. Say your intentions and we'll answer. Yeah, no kidding. His whiteness was intriguing. You're funny, Nancy. Hi, Pendu vlog. Quietness. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that quietness is necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, if it's eerily, creepily quiet, well, there's a difference, right? There's a difference between a little bit of shy quiet or creepy quiet or weird quiet, right? Which just makes the whole thing uncomfortable. Nobody likes that. Like if I find that I can't really pull conversation from someone who's shy, I'll probably just kind of squash the conversation and move on. Not that. Oh, you retracted your message. Oh, I was trying to read that, but maybe you typed it out wrong or something. I couldn't really read it. So, all right. So Tuesday we have our live, and I guess I'm going to try to look into the Watts readiness trial hearing before our live. So we might start a little bit later. I feel bad for some, like, because in the UK, when it's 9 a.m. here, it was like 10 a.m. here and it was 8 a.m. for you, Angelique. So, yeah, a lot of tension can be quiet. You like my necklace? Thank you. I like my necklace too. Somebody told me it's a herringbone. That's what this is called. So, but thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. But I'm going to try to look into the readiness hearing for the Watts case before we start our live on Tuesday, because that's the day that they're going to be back in court to sort of decide if they're ready to go for the 19th, is my understanding of it all. Yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday for sure, Nancy. Chris should never have done that interview. No kidding, right? I'm sure he regrets it now, but I'm sure he regrets a lot of things now if his hands were the ones that committed all of these crimes. I mean, his heart's got to be so heavy, in my opinion. He's got to have some remorse. I just find it so hard to believe, that somebody could not have any feelings attached to this after doing something so horrible. Bye, Nance. We'll see you next time, hon. Following the case from UK and have been watching my videos. Thank you so much, Allison. I really appreciate your support. Yes, Annie, we'll definitely see you on Tuesday. I keep trying to sort of end my lives on sort of a regular time frame, but then we get into chatting and other people pop on a little bit later and it ends up going a little bit longer. I think that's why I've stationed my lives between 9 and 11. So it gives everybody a sort of a wide range to pop on and say hello. Yes, for sure. We'll see you on Tuesday, Annie. Bye, Nance. All right, guys, it's been really awesome chatting. If nobody has any last minute questions, I think we'll just sort of wrap this up. And everybody can have a great rest of their weekend, and we will be back. If you don't follow me on Facebook, come join me on Facebook. Just under my name, Sherry Weens, although I do have a ton of friend requests I have to try to weed through because some of them are just fake profiles, some of them are scammers. There's a lot of people out there that are just, ugh. So I have to try to weed through a lot of that in order to find everybody. But maybe if you're interested in following me on Facebook, let me know and I can look up your name and come and friend you. That might be easier. So we'll definitely be back on Tuesday. And like I said, if nobody has any last minute questions, I think we'll just wrap this up and everybody can have a great rest of the weekend. Is it true they found dust in Shanann's lungs? Well, Evelyn, I don't know if that's true because they haven't released any autopsy reports yet. So if you would have heard something like that, it could possibly be somebody just trying to grab views from, somewhere where they're creating a false headline. And that's something else I would just want to state, you guys. There's very few titles in my channel that is somewhat deceiving, I guess you could say, but that's kind of the wrong word because my titles, some of them carry on. So if you see a bunch of dots at the end of my title section, it means that the description is carried on in the description box. So don't be deceived by, Shanann Watson girls autopsy reports, ... That just means there's more to that further down. Just look further down if you don't want to watch the video because it's information that you've already heard or you might have already, about it already and you just don't want to hear it again. Then you can read the description of mine. I always fill in the description of sort of what that video is about. So it might carry forward through the ... Just read a little bit further. And I don't want anybody to feel deceived by my posts or deceived by like I'm clickbait, and I'm really not, So if you see those dots, follow up with the description. I hope that they televise the Chris Watts case as well. Holly, yeah, for sure. And if you have trouble, let me know what your name is, and I can friend request you instead if that's easier. Excuse me. So the conference should be at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Okay, so maybe what's going to happen on Tuesday then is we're going to end up having our live before I necessarily know what's happened with that conference hearing. So it's possible that what we'll do is I'll have the live and then later on I'll do a video update for the Chris Watts hearing, for the readiness hearing conference, and we'll see what was said there. So if you guys want to stay tuned, just one last thing for the last people that came in. I potentially have a one-on-one with somebody very close with that Watts case. Allison, you're funny, you're old. So if anybody doesn't already know, I will keep you posted on finding out about doing that one-on-one, and then I'll keep you guys posted. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching, everybody. I hope everybody has a safe weekend and lots of laughs and smiles and good times. So stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys again on Tuesday, okay? Bye for now.